Healthcare cleaning and medical device reprocessing continue to evolve as manufacturers look for smarter, safer, and more effective ways to clean complex instruments and surfaces, making it easier for those doing the work. From enzymatic detergents and validation testing to IoT-driven insights, sustainability goals, and product performance, the pressure is on to create solutions that not only work in the lab, but also deliver real-world results inside healthcare facilities. So today, we're discussing how detergent manufacturers evaluate and differentiate their products, what healthcare professionals should look for when selecting cleaning chemistries, and how companies like Univar Solutions and Novonesis are helping shape the future of enzymatic detergent development through formulation expertise, testing support, and innovation. So it's my pleasure for part 4 of our series today to welcome to our program John Howell, Brendan Beyer, and John Harp. Gentlemen, we should create a band. That's what I'm thinking.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Well, glad we're able to get together today and cover a few more questions as we dig deeper into this topic. So if you're ready, and be sure to introduce yourself and what you do for those that might have missed a previous episode. But John Harp, the first question's for you. How do detergent manufacturers on the market test their products?
Sure. Yeah. Thanks for the question, Jeff. So I'm John Harp, coming from Novonesis as a technical service scientist. And as it relates to this question around these manufacturers and how they test their products, what's interesting is that for enzymatic detergents, for the medical device reprocessing, is that it's less standardized than you might expect. At the moment, there's currently no universal standards for testing enzymatic detergents. But what is important to recognize is that these manufacturers of products are following the guidance of medical device makers because, of course, those makers need to validate how their devices can be cleaned. And so in general, when these manufacturers are thinking about testing their products, they do it in 3 ways. The first is that they're using commercially available indicators such as TOSI and STF. And these indicators are designed to provide you with a quick and reproducible way to evaluate the performance of your product. But number 2, they're also using global standards organizations such as ASTM and ISO methods to get some reproducible work as well. So they're looking at the soil application, the product performance, and testing the efficacy of their product. But the third method, which perhaps is quite important, is around developing proprietary soils. So they look at these proprietary soils and the performance of their product to make their conclusions on the tests. And so to wrap this one up, we know that manufacturers are measuring soil removal. They're checking for parameters such as rinsability and removal of residues, as well as reduction in foam or the appropriate amount of foam. But they want to do this in a way that's compatible with the materials they're testing, as well as making sure that it's done safely, as well as it's ultimately biocompatible. And so a lot of this is using existing methods, creating your own custom procedures, but it's using all of this to then create that value behind their product. And that's how they generally test.
Thank you for that. Now, that's the testing. Part 2 to this, you might say, is how do manufacturers differentiate their products? Can you describe that for us?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you were to look at all the detergents at face value, you may say, oh, those are all the same. But there's really 5 core areas that comes down to each of these manufacturers when they're trying to differentiate their products. The first one is efficacy. Of course, they want to have an efficacious product on the shelf for use. It's going after bloods, proteins, fats, etc. But they're doing it under realistic conditions. They're doing it with lower temperatures, perhaps, different water types, maybe going after different soils. So all of this is about getting the best data possible, using their in-house methods or commercial indicators to then build that story. Number 2 is around device compatibility. So we know that there's an increasingly more complex market of different types of medical instruments out there. So you need to be able to make sure that you're not damaging them or leaving behind residues. So manufacturers are being able to target specific types of medical devices to make sure that they can then clean them very well and they can differentiate that way. Third is workflow integration. We know that hospitals are these environments that are that where you need to have efficacy, you need to have consistency. It's so important for the health of the patient. And so being able to use the right formulation, maybe there's automatic dosing that's there, maybe there's formats that reduce the complexity for the operators, because you want to make it as simple as possible. You want to be able to maximize the time that these operators have when they're cleaning to do the best job that they can. So being able to work with the workflow is important, and using the right products for that. The fourth is around sustainability and safety. There is this growing pressure for environmental impact and reducing that. So doing and developing products that look at the impact of their products for biodegradability and making sure there's less harsh chemicals, all of those elements really help to sort of tell a tale of why this product versus that. And the final one is around innovation. We know that the ingredients that go into these cleaners are evolving. Enzymes are becoming more stable. Enzymes are becoming slightly different. And so they can use them in better ways. We can go after smart dosing systems. We can go after monitoring technologies. There's a lot of new and complex equipment that can be monitored in the right way. So having a detergent that fits those needs is important. So all of this suggests that if a manufacturer wants to differentiate themselves, they can use a lot of these levers to do so. So that way you can get performance and you can do it in a way that makes sense, that fits the needs of the workflows in these environments that are experiencing, complex devices and everything in between.
Thank you, John. Appreciate that. John, how did all that make sense to you?
It all made sense to me. Sounded great.
All right, so it's your turn. Let's talk to you. Talk about this. How do you go about choosing or evaluating a product for a healthcare facility? And then I have a couple follows after that.
Okay. I'm John Howell. I'm Global Business Development with Novonesis. So first of all, to answer this question, it's important. Healthcare facilities, when they're choosing, and most of them already know this, right? They may have some contractual obligations. They may have like guidance from equipment manufacturers or device manufacturers that may tell them specifically what to use. In that case, there may be a little less freedom for them to actually explore and differentiate and figure out different detergents that they would like to use. However, if they do have some freedoms to choose, at that point, healthcare facilities really don't have probably a lot of time or options to kind of do their own testing and evaluate what works for them. So it's ideal that they kind of lean on the detergent manufacturers and start getting to know them, work with the vendors, and start asking questions in that case.
What to look for? What are they
Yeah.
what are they searching for?
Yeah. So when you're starting to talk to a detergent manufacturer, John brought up a lot of great points, and it's really how do they go about testing? What are they testing? What's the breadth of their testing, right? Because as John said, there's a lot of different ways to test. Are they doing a lot of different ways to do these tests, or are they very narrow in their focus? And I think one of the real key things is, do they have an opportunity to do testing on clinical soils, or have a way of testing for use on real type soils or real soils? And the reason I bring that up is, as John mentioned, there's a lot of commercial indicators out there. There's a lot of artificial soils out there. And while those are great metrics for kind of developing a product, it really, at some point, it can come down to what you do in the lab is very different from what you're going to confront in a reprocessing facility. So if those detergent manufacturers have had a chance to do some any kind of case studies or clinical soil testing, that's really good to know. And also ask them how, under what conditions they test their products. Different water hardness. John alluded to water quality, right? Different temperatures, and what kind of equipment do you have in your facility? So giving them all that information and inquiring can help that detergent manufacturer select the best product for your problems.
Now, these products are not down at the local department store. Talk about where we can find them.
Yeah, so obviously the first thing, you can always send people off to the internet, right? But the internet comes with its own caveats, right? There's way too much information. It can be information overload. That can be problematic because there's also a lot of false information out there. I think the best thing to do is, one, is to connect with the detergent manufacturers. And for that, it is going through some of those, conferences where you can begin to network. And so you take ISSA for example. ISSA doesn't necessarily have a lot of medical detergent manufacturers, but they have a lot of companies there that you can go and talk to, and they say, yeah, but we have a division that works on this, and you can get connections. And so then if you want to go to a more specific conference, you can go to something like HSPA, which is Healthcare Sterile Processing Association. And there, that is where you'll meet other technicians. You'll meet, department heads. You can also meet the detergent manufacturers. You have a chance to network, ask questions, and really learn about what is out there, what are the new innovations, and to what John answered earlier, how are people differentiating, and what is going to best suit your reprocessing facility?
Thank you, John. Brandon, you still awake?
I am. I'm
All
always
right.
awake.
Do you have anything to add to that before we ask you a question?
I do. And kind of to just kind of an overview from a both John Harper and John Howell's perspective. So again, Brandon Beyer, I'm a North American Technical Manager in HI&I with Univar Solutions. And I wanted to just kind of roll back to how manufacturers test their products. And as John Harp indicated, it's often it's a proxy for what's real. But the reality is sometimes in my team sees this, they don't know how to test. So that is the reason we have these calls right now. If you're not sure how to test what's the most effective, maybe you're a smaller firm just getting into the space, please reach out, because both the Novonesis and the Univar Solutions labs are well versed in this and have the methods to kind of guide through this. And I would also add to that, in differentiating I'm a big fan of going from the beaker to the bucket as quick as possible. Now, medical device reprocessing, you're not usually using buckets, but the best indicator of success is success. So once that manufacturer has moved from that testing parameter, if you have an account or a place that's ready to test a product, or has real life soils, that's really, I think, where the best decisions are made, because you'll do pig's blood and these different types of tests, which are great to screen, but really you're going to want people to get in there and test it in their process. And then to John Howell's point, there are things that the end consumer, they don't have the time to really evaluate. There might be something they're looking for. You want them to make, clean surfaces, clean endoscopes, but there might be an experience that we're not aware of. I don't want to say fragrance per se, but if your product has a terrible odor, it's probably not going to be used a ton, even if it works really, really well. It might be an experience on the hands, because some of these are manual cleaning. So there's a lot of questions you can ask. It isn't always just performance. When it comes to cleaning, and we know this intuitively from our own experiences in cleaning our homes, experience sometimes matters as much as the cleaning process. Now, the consequence in medical device reprocessing of failure is a bit higher, but there still are humans involved, and there's an experiential aspect. So it's a question I think it's important to include.
Thank you, Brandon. Nice addition. Hey, beaker to the bucket. That sounds like a podcast.
If I lose this gig, maybe I'll start it up. I'm sure I'll have all of four viewers.
It has a nice ring to it. Beaker to the bucket. So you heard it here first, folks. If anyone steals this idea, we're going after you. All right.
Fair enough.
John, Hal, back to you on this. Then Brandon will ask you the same question. How does Univar and Novonesis portfolio of enzymes aid detergent manufacturers in their objective?
Yeah, so first of all, Novonesis has the largest medical portfolio for enzymes, right? And Univar has complete access to that. And not only do they have access to that, they also have the support from John and I, plus other colleagues of ours that can help support them, even on a lab basis, to really help educate Univar and their customers. And together, sometimes we'll work together to go out and educate customers as kind of a partnership. So we're pretty much working in lockstep with one another to make sure that we're offering the best of the best to the detergent manufacturers.
One of our solutions, there's two things. One, really my team, we're trying to boil it down to a simple question of what problem you're trying to solve. So Novonesis is part of that portfolio, but it's cleaning. So that includes chelants, surfactants, polymers, acids, bases, just basic quats. There's a lot of approaches. The enzymatic approach, because these are biological soils, these are purpose-built by nature to break down some of these soils. So it's probably the most powerful tool in your toolbox. But really, we work in trying to define the problem. And then again, we have a lab. Can we work with you in a field test? Is it just a technical consultant basis? So that's part of it. And the last part, again, I'm very spoiled as Univar Solutions. So John and John have a whole team of enzyme and microbial technical experts behind them. My technical family tree expands to the Johns and a whole other group. So you look at one person, and I'm okay, but there's an army behind us so that if I don't know the answer, my team doesn't know the answer, we can reach their significant global network of technical professionals in all those spaces: surfactants, polymers, chelants, enzymes. So that we help just by sheer brute force and technical expertise.
The last thing I'd like to do, gentlemen, is get your final thoughts on our series we put together. Just share your perspective on what we've covered. And John Howe, we'll start with you.
Yeah, so I think we've covered a lot of stuff over the past 4 webinars, but if I had to take a very high view, it's really this. Kind of my final advice is to do your homework and educate yourself. Because if you think about it, one thing I said earlier in one of the earlier webinars is that the CDC, the FDA, the World Health Organization all tell you how critical cleaning is. And what that tells you, the detergent you choose, the detergent how it's developed, the detergent you choose is also critical. And all of this is being done ultimately for the patient's safety. So really it boils down to just educating yourself, learning, asking questions, and networking.
To piggyback on that, I mean, there really should only be one standard of clean, and that is as clean as we can possibly get using the best possible technologies to get there. And so it isn't just about having big, bold claims. It's about being able to deliver proven performance. And we know that medical devices are complex. And so the technologies that we need to use need to be evolved. They need to work well so that we can create that seamless integration into the different workflows to meet the needs of an evolving environment, evolving cleaning space. So, and enzymes can help us get there.
You know, the hospital and healthcare environment is extremely high consequence and high value. But at the baseline, what we're talking about, we all have an intuitive understanding of, and that's cleaning. And you've heard me beat this drum over this series. The cleaning wheel: temperature, time, mechanical action, and chemistry. It might seem complicated what we're doing, but at the baseline, you understand these things. As consumers of cleaning every day, we're doing the same thing in this environment. You just want it to work as well as possible. And if you have questions, my last thought is you have help. There's the three of us, and there's a whole, I think I said, technical family tree behind you to help you select products and teach you and help you how to test and work as a partner in that process.
Well, gentlemen, good final words. Thank you for this series. I'll put in the video notes below a link to the previous 3 so people can watch them in order if they'd like to. But it's been a pleasure, and I'll see you at a trade show or some event coming up.